Hello, guys. What's up? So, got the new Halloween movie, and then just a couple of days ago, we had a major loss in the horror community and the horror world. Ted White from Friday the 13th, Part 4, has passed away at the age of 96, and he passed away peacefully in his sleep at his home. That is a big hit, man, for the horror community, for Friday the 13th fans, and the Friday the 13th community. Because a lot of people that are Friday the 13th fans consider Ted to be the definitive Jason. Now, my favorite is Kane Hodder, of course, But, I love Kane's performance as Jason. He's always going to be my favorite. But this video is about Ted White. The way he played Jason, at the time, you had not seen it before. He wanted to make him move a little bit faster, more nimble. And he used the word clumsy, not as clumsy as the others before, which would be Richard Brooker and Steve Dash. But he said that slow-moving method of attacking people, he didn't want it to be that way. He wanted to be the fast mover, started running. The first one where Jason runs. And Ted brought all of that. I mean, I'll watch that movie, 6, 7, 8 times on Friday the 13th. I'll usually watch 4 first. That's my first one of my marathon. And then I'll do 6. And then I'll do 7. And then I'll go back for the top 5 and watch the original. And end my marathon with the original. But yeah, man, for a lot of people, Ted White was the definitive Jason. And in some of the fans' eyes, there is no other Jason. Not even Brooker. Not even Brooker could hold a candle to him in most people's eyes. We're really gonna miss Ted. And every time that we watch that film, we can always, remember why we loved him as Jason. And why the horror community loves Ted White. I mean, it's a big hit for me, because if I'm not mistaken, back when I was a kid, the final chapter was the first Friday the 13th I ever owned on VHS. And dude, this is way back. Like, God, 96, 97, somewhere like that. And I watched it, for the first time as a little kid. It scared me to death. I mean, Ted was so intimidating. He had that, cowboy stature for Jason. And when he busts through the door, throws the hammer into the wall, and runs up the stairs after Trish and Tommy, I was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. And he is the first Jason that you get to see unmasked. He got to play Jason when they supposedly killed Jason. And I've also heard about behind the scenes things with Ted. Like him and Joe Zito, that directed Part 4, did not get along. And Ted actually threatened to walk on the role of Jason because of Joe Zito. Because they were shooting the scene with the girl in the raft where she gets stabbed through the stomach and, in the water, in the lake. And this is in the middle of January. It's 22 or 23 degrees outside, is what Ted said. And she was actually turning blue. And he told Joe, the director, he said, Joe, we gotta get her out of here before she freezes up completely. And he said, well, why don't you just do Jason and I'll do the directing? And Ted said, well, either you get her out or I'll walk. One or the other. And I was like, man, that's so awesome that he doesn't care what the boss says, He knows when things need to be safe. He's a stunt man. He knew how unsafe that was for that girl. And she did, in the interviews I've seen, she did say that she thinks she might have got hypothermia from that scene. And he said it was unbelievable. Ted said it was unbelievable what the cast of this movie went through for the amount of money they were making. Like, man, he's going to be so missed. And although I know, we can never have him play Jason again, he is considered the definitive Jason. And let's see, I think Derek Mears said that Ted White from Part 4 was his favorite Jason. But he completely respects and is a fan of all of them, just like me. And then there's a couple other people from the series that said that he was their favorite Jason. He's a lot of people's favorite Jason. So tonight, or this week, this week coming up, let's all sit and watch Friday the 13th Part 4 in honor of Ted White. Because the way he played Jason was completely different from what you had gotten before. I mean, I wasn't born at the time. 84, my parents just got married. 38 years ago. But, you can watch it. You can track it. Like the Part 2, Steve Dash. He's kind of a manic hillbilly. And then Brooker, they gave him direction of, you're just a mindless killer. You're like the shark in Jaws. That was the direction that they gave Brooker. And then Ted came up with his own way of portraying Jason. And there's one story that's on the His Name Was Jason documentary I have up here that I want to tell you guys. If you haven't seen it, you probably have, but we're going to do it anyway, just, because it's about Ted. He said one night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, their dressing rooms for Part 4 were up on Topanga Canyon Boulevard. Or Boulevard, ever how you say it. And he was walking up there to go to the restroom. And a car had pulled up and parked out front. And there were 2 African Americans in it. This is the way he worded it. And he's in full makeup for the machete cut in the head, And he said that he walked past the car and they said, "Hey bro, what's going on downstairs?" He said, "I stuck my head in by the window and the 2 guys saw that makeup." And he said, "I'm not going to repeat the words they said, but they left there in quite a hurry." And he said that was his favorite memory of Part 4 in playing Jason. And then he said he was at a convention and 2 guys walked in with a complete statue of him in Part 4 Jason. Full. In every likeness that weighed over 300 pounds. And he said he wishes that he would have done conventions, or he wished when he could have done conventions when he was a much younger man. Because they're some of the best people in the horror community that you will ever meet. And he is so taken back by people wanting to come and say hello to a guy that wore a hockey mask and get his signature. And there's a bunch of other movies that Ted's worked on. He hasn't just done Friday the 13th, but that's what we all know him as. The horror community. We all know Ted White as Part 4 Jason. And for years, I did not know that they changed the actor. I thought it was Brooker when I first seen the film. Way back in 96, 97. And I was like, So I looked at the credits, and I didn't see Ted White's name. And then one day I realized I wasn't looking hard enough. Clearly there. And he said on that documentary I have about the series, Corey Feldman, he could not stand him. He said, "I wanted to kill him desperately. He just irritated me." He said there were times when Corey got close to him that he just wanted to reach out and grab him and give him a good spanking because he was a spoiled little kid. Then on there he says now he's a grown man, and I'd tell him the same thing. He's a spoiled little kid. It's sad. It really is. And I almost didn't think it was true. I went on Wikipedia, dude. Ted White, typed him up from Wikipedia. And it says he was an American stuntman, actor from Texas. And he died at 96 peacefully in his sleep. And I sat here and I was like, wow, that's a huge loss for Friday the 13th. And that's why I wanted to make this video. It's getting bad, guys. I mean, I know we can't control death. It comes for who it comes for. But dude, we're losing all of our icons, dude. Brooker's gone from part 3. Steve Dash is gone from part 2. Now Ted White's gone from part 4. And the guy that played Roy has passed away too, I believe. So the only Jasons left are C.J. Graham, Kane Hodder, Ken Kersinger, and Derek Mears. Those are the only Jasons that we have left. And one day, we'll be watching these movies, and it will be to honor the work that these people did and the memories that they all gave us. Just like we're going to honor the memories of Ted that he gave us for Jason when we watch the film. Every time we watch it, well, for me at least, it's going to be in honor of Ted. Because like I said, to most people, he is the definitive Jason. So to Ted White, rest in peace, man. And you will be dearly missed by all of us in the horror community. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed.